guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my top 3 of every product category that I use. I've seen this kind of go around YouTube for a little while now. I've watched a couple like Babs Beauty and Makeup by Cheryl. Some of my favorites I've seen do it, so I thought it would be kind of cool to share this thing with you guys today. I'm just going to go in the order of the way I apply my makeup to my face, so I'm going to start out with primer. My first top favorite primer is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It is definitely a dupe for the Tatcha. I've used that one and it works just the same. It's really good if you have larger pores. You just take a sponge, a spatula, your fingernail, whatever you would like to kind of go into the pan, and then you want to rub it in and do a pressing motion, and it really helps fill the pores. And then I have by Touch in Sol their Icy Sherbet Primer. You got this in a boxy charm and I really enjoy it. It's a unique texture and it does give a cooling feeling to the skin when you apply it, but I do feel it helps with the pores as well. That's what it looks like. And makeup lays really nice on top of that. And then the last primer I wanted to share is the Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer by Ciate London. And this is really good for those with dry skin. So I use this more in like the fall, winter months when I have drier skin. It does really help to hydrate, and I feel it does help the makeup lay nicer on the skin as well. And then for foundations, my first one, which is my current favorite, which I have on today and I've been wearing for a few months now, is the CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 Foundation. It's a full coverage foundation. I actually have a couple shades because I have some for my tanner shades and some for my lighter shades. So the current shade I'm using is 817 Golden Natural, and it just does what it says. It lasts forever. It's kind of hard to remove because it does have those waterproof properties, but me, I don't mind that. I double cleanse anyhow, so I can get it off pretty easily. But it doesn't like melt away in the heat or sweat or anything like that, and I really like the wear on this. And then one of my all-time favorites, which I'm so sad I won't be able to buy anymore because of them going out of business soon. I don't know if it's happened yet or not. I've heard it around the web though. It's the Becca Full Coverage Foundation. And this one is in the shade Cashmere. It's my tanner shade, but I do have another one as well for the lighter shades, and I just really liked how that wore. It was full coverage, it lasted really good. I didn't have any complaints with it, so it was one of my everyday go-tos, but I'll have to find one to replace it soon, sadly. And then the last foundation is by Too Faced, their Born This Way foundation. This is the original. I haven't tried the matte yet, I need to, but I really like this one. It's more of a medium coverage compared to the other two, but it's one of those that you really don't feel on your skin, so I like that. And then for concealer, I also have the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. So same as the foundation, no complaints. I usually pair those together and they work really well. Has good coverage, doesn't give you that cakey dry feeling in your under eye, which I really like. And then my all-time favorite, which I currently use, is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. And I like it just because the name says it doesn't give you that cakey feeling under your eye that you can sometimes get where it's really dry and kind of old looking, or looks like you have more mature skin, I should say. And that wears really well too. And then the last one is the Dose of Colors Concealer, the Meet Your Hue. And this one doesn't have quite as full coverage as the Benefit, but it's more of a moisturizing concealer, where that one, it's not drying per se, but it does dry more of a matte feeling. This one gives you more of a hydrated feeling. And then for powders, my all-time favorite is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. And I really like this one because it does give you that kind of airbrushed effect, and it doesn't dry out your skin too much. It feels really nice, and there's no flashback because it does have a slight tint to it. It's not that stark white powder, and I have mine in Translucent Light. And then a newer favorite is the Fenty Beauty Powder. It's their Pro Filter Setting Powder. I have mine in the shade Butter. Again, kind of the same as the Cover FX. It gives you that nice blurring effect. It doesn't feel too dry on the skin. and there's no flashback because it does have a hint of color to it. Then on days where I want to do like a more of a no makeup look, I'll use just a powder. I know a lot of people use like a tinted moisturizer, but for me, if I'm doing that type of look, I'm going to use concealer and then a face powder, maybe some mascara and a little bit of bronzer. So this one is by Cat. It's their Aqua Assurance Compact Foundation. I have mine in Ivory, as you can see. I've used quite a bit of it. This was an older recommendation by Tati, and I've just used it ever since. It's really nice. The name Aqua Assurance means, you know, there's a little more hydrating in there than other powders. So I feel that wearing that alone with concealer, you don't get those dry patches, or it doesn't look as cakey or dry as a lot of powder foundations do. For bronzers, the first is a favorite when I'm not wearing self-tanner because it's a lighter shade. And this was by Kylie Cosmetics. It is their old packaging. I know they recently did a revamp. This one's in the shade Khaki. There's what it looks like. It's just a really good light bronzer for paler skins, which are very hard to find because a lot of times I find they pull way too orange or they're just way too dark altogether. Because when I'm pale, I'm really pale. And then one that works more so when I have a tan is the Pretty Vulgar bronzer. This one is Bronze Bee in Bronze Mannequin. And here's what that looks like. So as you can see, it's a deeper tone. Really like that, and it goes on so smooth and it's very easy to blend. And then my last one is a bronzer palette, which is newer to me. We just got it in BoxyCharm, but I've been using it ever since I got it. And I do have it on today. It's the Alamar Cosmetics Hydrating Complexion Trio. And I really like this too because I got mine in light, so the middle shade I can use when I do not have a self-tanner on, and the darker shade I can use when I do. So I thought that was really cool. And then you also have this if you want to use it like as a setting or highlighting powder. Those blend beautifully as well. And I think the hydrating factor to it does help with the blending where it's not so dry, so it's not clinging to things as much as others may. And then we have blushes. The first one is an all-time favorite, which I've loved for years and have several colors in. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush. This one is in the shade Feisty, but I do have a few others. And these are just really nice buildable type of blushes, and they seem to last a lot longer than some. It does say they're a 12-hour wear, and I believe it. They don't wear off as quickly as a lot of others I've tried. Then I have a Patrick Ta blush. This is in the shade She's Adorable. I just love this peachy tone to this blush. It's so pretty. It has a slight shimmer to it, not glitter or anything. When you put it on, you really don't see the sheen as much, but I just love the tone, especially for spring and summer. It's been my go-to. And then by Pretty Vulgar, I have one of their blushes in, they're called Make Them Blush, and this one is in the shade Hush Blush. It has the same packaging as the bronzer did, and then it's this pretty mauve color. And this is the pretty everyday type of blush color. And again, just like the bronzer, no issues blending, blends beautifully. This one's not so much of a blush you'll have to build up like the Tarte. It does have good pigment right off the bat, so you would just want to be careful with that. And then for highlighters, once again, I'm going in with an old favorite, Becca Cosmetics, but it's one I use regularly, especially in the summer months when I have a tan. There's their packaging looked like. And this one is in Prosecco Pop. Not much to say about it. It goes on nicely. Very nice heavy duty packaging. I do have the Champagne Pop one that Jaclyn Hill brought out too, and I used both of them. But no complaints there, just a very pretty highlight for if you have like a medium skin tone. And then one that I use more often, especially when I'm paler, is an Ofra Cosmetics. I did drop mine and break it, but this shade is perfect for pale skin. It's their shade Glazed Donut. They did with Nikki Tutorials. Really nice white kind of champagne type shade. And I love how those go onto the skin. They don't really sit on top of the skin. They really sink into the skin so you don't see it sitting there, which I like. And then I do have this newer one by Anastasia Beverly Hills we got in BoxyCharm that I've really been enjoying for when I have self-tan on. And this one is in the shade Vegas. in this really pretty packaging, and it's kind of a deeper, almost gold champagne shade. Then I guess we will move on to eyeshadow palettes. So one of my favorites is I have many, so ColourPop palettes, these smaller palettes of theirs, I just really love them. This one's the Truly Madly Deeply, which is one of my all-time favorites, but I do have quite a few, and they never disappoint. That one looks like. And then the next is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. I just love the packaging and the aesthetic of it as well, but the product inside does not disappoint. The mattes blend beautifully, and the shimmer shades are really nice, especially if you wet your brush. So I feel you get more of a punch if you do wet your brush with those, but they're beautiful. And then another more recent favorite, but I've been using nonstop, is the Transition palette by Dominique Cosmetics. Love the packaging of that too, and the aesthetic. And it's just an all matte neutrals palette that you can use on your face or eyes, and it has all the shades you can need for that. It has warmer tones, mid-tones, cool tones, so a nice mixture in there. So I've really been enjoying this one. Then we'll do mascaras. One of my favorites right now is the Pat McGrath Labs Fetish Eyes Mascara. I just love how this makes my lashes look. It thickens them, it gives them curl and length. It's like an all-in-one for me. And then also the Maybelline Sky High Mascara that everyone's raved about. I really love it too. It doesn't do so much of a thickening, but it does do a nice lifting volume effect to my eyelashes, which I really enjoy. And then I would say my all-time favorite mascara is the It Superhero Mascara. I just have a travel size right now. My other ones were pretty old, so I threw them out. But this is like an all-in-one. Just kind of like the Pat McGrath, it does it all. It has a nice brush on it. It's not one of those hard rubber brushes, which sometimes I don't like. But no complaints on that one. This would be my all-time favorite out of all mascaras though. And then we have our eyebrow products. So I have by Wonder Beauty their eyebrow pencil. I really enjoyed this one. I'm almost out. I just really like the thin tip that it has. It's a really fine point there, and the color was perfect. And then I do also enjoy these cheap e.l.f. eyeliners. They're a thicker, more waxy type of pencil, but they're like $2 or $3, and they work just as good as some of the high-end pencils that I have. And then one of my other favorites is the ColourPop eyebrow pencils. I don't have one right now because I just recently did an empties video, and that was one of them, and I haven't repurchased yet, but I really love theirs as well. I think I had mine in soft brown or light brown. I forgot what the exact name of it was, but it's also kind of like the Wonder Beauty, a very fine tip pencil, so I really enjoy those because I can really get in there and do more of a hair-like strokes and outline my eyebrows if I need to. And for eyeliners, I don't have all three of them here with me. I kind of forgot, just thought about it at last minute. But if I'm doing a liquid liner, like I don't do winged liner, but I do put liquid liner down sometimes to help hide lash bands. I've been enjoying the Ciate London Star Stick. This one has a star stamp on one end and then the felt tip on the other. I don't really use the star stamp. I have tried it before, but I like the felt tip on this one, and the way it goes on, it's really easy for me, not being an everyday eyeliner wearer. And as far as like pencil liners, which you wear in your waterline, I really enjoy the Maybelline Tattoo Studio. That's one of my favorites. And then the Kat Von D, I think it's called the Cake Pencil, I believe is what she calls it. The Kat Von D really lasts. Like I don't have to apply that multiple times a day. I just like how it goes on smoothly and how dark deep it is being a black eyeliner. And then the Maybelline Studio pencils, they have lots of colors. I have quite a few of them, and they go on smoothly as well, and they last pretty well. Not quite as long as the Kat Von D. I do have to reapply it if I wear it all day, but compared to many others, it's still a long-lasting nice pencil. And then for setting sprays, my first one is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And this is more so if you need it to last all night, like it says. This is your go-to for that. It really does help the makeup last. and then more of an everyday one that I've been using, but also helps the lasting of your makeup, is the One Hit Prime Set Refresh Dewy Finish Face Mist by Item Beauty, I believe is the brand. We got this in an Ipsy bag, but it works really well. And then a more recent one that I'm really liking right now is the Dewy Setting Spray by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This gives you more of a glow, where those two are more of a matte finish. But I really do enjoy it, and it smells so good, kind of like coconut or just like a summertime scent. And then our last category will be lips. And for that, a current favorite is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. These have hyaluronic acid. They have quite a few nice shades. This is one of my favorites in the shade Wreath. And these are very pigmented glosses. They're not that sheer gloss that you can get. This actually has color when it goes on, and it lasts a very good time. It doesn't have that sticky feeling, just no complaints, just a perfect gloss in my opinion. So by Maybelline, I have what I'm wearing today. It's their matte lipstick in the shade Daringly Nude. I just love their matte lipstick formula, and they're super affordable, so you can't complain. And then the last one is the Kylie Velvet Liquid Lipsticks. Again, this is an older one. I haven't tried the newer ones yet, but I do plan on getting some. And this is one of my favorite shades. I just like that it's semi-matte, but it doesn't have that dry down like her mattes do, or all matte lipsticks really do. It's to where your lips feel crusty. And this was in the shade Bear. Just a nice peachy nude color. That's all of my favorites, guys, that I have to share in all categories that I use anyway. If you have other favorites that you think I should maybe try, or you want to share with others, leave a comment down below and I may give them a go. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Hit subscribe before you leave if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. Bye.